DecoNetwork makes it easy to add images, a gallery of images, and even videos to any page on your website. Simply come over to Widgets, where you can come into the Media section and choose to add an image, video, or image gallery to the page. By selecting the image and dragging it on here, you can then choose to search the web for an image, search our stock images, theme images, or if you come over to your images, it'll be all the images you've already uploaded, or where you can also upload another image. Now once you choose an image, we'll just choose the Carhartt one here, you can configure the image within the first two columns, just like you can for any widget within your DecoNetwork site. So in this case, I can replace it, which would just be swapping the image with something else. I can make the image a link. I can also configure the alt tag, which is a very good idea. So in this case, I added the Carhartt logo. Maybe I want the alt tag to be custom Carhartt t-shirts, and then I make the link go to the workwear page where the customer can shop through our Carhartt workwear products. When I upload an image, it typically defaults to the large setting, that large size setting, I'm sorry. You typically want to be 2,000 to 3,000 pixels wide if you're looking to be the full width of the page. If you're looking to be the half width, you typically want to be 12 to 1,500. If you want to be a third, maybe around 1,000, and so forth. So in this case, I'm going to make it so that it is only using 1/4 of the page. So I'll go with the medium 800. Now when you upload an image, you can upload an SVG, which is a vector. That really isn't a gigantic file size. When you upload a PNG, which is great when you need a transparent background, it is a little bit larger of a file size and can take longer to load if it's gigantic. So what's a good idea is whenever possible, upload an SVG if you need a transparent background. If not, a PNG is fine, just make sure it's not too big, otherwise it might take a second to load on the page. And whenever you're uploading a JPEG, typically the file size isn't super big, but again, we want the resolution to be at least 2,000 to 3,000 pixels wide if it's the full width of the page. If the image looks fuzzy on the page, your resolution was probably low to begin with. Now, once I have it on here, it's also very easy to resize, and that has nothing to do with here. This is just the amount of pixels that are being used to display it. And again, you can't go bigger than the original. So it's better to, and that doesn't mean upload the biggest file size possible so it looks good no matter what the size is. You kind of want to upload it for the designated area. If I come over here to design, I can control what part of the image is shown. So if I had a real tall image, I could choose, do I want to crop it or where it wants to be, or I can choose to put text over an image here. So image right here, so this is the main title, and this would be the subtitle. I can also make the image act as a, if I make it a link, I typically want to apply a hover effect. Or maybe I want to put an image effect on the image, and then when we hover over it, it actually turns back into what it looks like it is now. So if I come over to image effects, I could do something like, let's make it grayscale, and let's transform it so that it's 90% of its size. And then when we hover, let's make it 100% of its size, and let's actually make it full color. Boom. Really that easy. If I like this layout and I want to use it in other places, remember you can always clone rows and clone widgets, And then I could come in here and instead of Carhartt, we could replace it with the Adidas logo. No reason to have to start from scratch each time. Remember, everything from background to advanced is typically always the same from the other widgets. So if I want to come in here and I want to do a background color, if it's a transparent design, if it's not, if it's white background, it's not going to do that. I can choose to give it a border. So maybe I actually want a white border, which you won't be able to see on a white background, but I want to round the edges. Do that with a border. I can also apply a shadow, which won't look good in this case because I rounded things. Actually still doesn't look bad. So very easy to, again, add a background color to the image, give it a border, give it a shadow, and then do your typical things like alignment, hide it on certain devices. Now, if we come back to widgets and we do an image gallery is displaying a number of images as one widget. So it's typically going to be like a collage or, again, a gallery of maybe work that you've completed. So we're going to just choose a few of these apparel brands. And there are a couple different ways, actually there's several different ways we can choose to display these images on the page. One more and we should be good. Okay, so if I come over to the design, again, it's different than the actual image widget. You can see here I can choose to display them as a grid, which would be just standard boxes. I could choose to crop the thumbnail or not, or actually the thumbnail size. Because it's not so big and I didn't add a billion images, that's why it's all in one row. So if we make it 300, you'll see we have a couple rows now. If I choose to crop the thumbnail, you can see it's cropping everything and keeping it a square, versus if I make that no, it'll undo it. I could choose to, again, use the higher resolution on the Retina display. Same image and hover effects capabilities. I wouldn't use a hover effect here typically because hover typically insinuates that it's a link, and you can't link these individual ones this way. If you want to link them, you need to use the image widget and do them each individually. What's really cool though here is I can also do a masonry, so it kind of changes the sizes and staggers them around. Very similar to a collage. A collage changes their size and kind of wedges them together. What I'm a fan of with the gallery though is the carousel. So the carousel is just one row with the images rotating. So you can see here we have 3 images. Well, if I scroll down, I can choose how many I want to display. So maybe I want 5 instead. And I can choose what arrow style we use, and even where its size and where it's placed. So right now you can't really see it, which is part of the problem. I can't edit what I don't see. So I'm going to pad this row, or the actual widget, and then come back here, make the arrow size, and then we'll push the insert over. So you see it's right there. If I change the arrow to something like arrow 6, it's a little bit easier to see. And let's just see if I can get it all the way out. Close enough. I can also control the hover color of the arrow, how long it takes for the images to rotate, if I hover over it, if it pauses, and so forth. So again, you can see the image gallery is similar yet different than the image widget. Lastly, in the media outside of the slider is the video widget. Video widget is extremely straightforward. You can upload a video using a URL link from either YouTube or Vimeo. Once you upload it, you can choose the aspect ratio. If it auto plays, if it loops, if you want to show the controls, full screen option, hide the logo, or show related. Now do know that each of these formats do have different controls. Vimeo is typically a paid video hosting service, and you do have more controls. So if you don't want to be showing the logo or have a big play button in the middle, sometimes Vimeo is the better route. You do have more control over it. Something important to remember about images versus and videos. Within this row right here, at any point of a row or a column, I could come into background properties, and within background, I can upload an image. Okay? What I cannot do is I cannot upload a video as a background image. So backgrounds can be images. They can also be a GIF. Now be careful of how large of a GIF you upload, which is a whole nother conversation. But a background can be a GIF or an image. And if it can be a background, just like we are right now, you can overlay widgets over it. When it comes to a video, you cannot make that a background and then have text over it. Sometimes it's possible using custom code and so forth, but there's no easy way to do it just using the row and widgets within DecoNetwork's What You See, What You Get editor as of this video. When it comes to adding, again, images, an image gallery, or a video widget, if you have questions, simply come up to the top of the page where you can search DecoNetwork's many help articles, or click on the question mark and raise a support ticket with client services, who is there to answer questions and help you work through problems whenever you're experiencing them.